In 2022, a tear-jerking blockbuster burst onto the South Korean film scene. It not only moved countless viewers to tears but also claimed the top spot at the South Korean box office that year. Seemingly unadorned, this film became the must-see tear-jerker of the year, frequently spoken of by audiences. In Incheon in 1993, Doo-seok, after his military service, dedicated himself to the loan shark debt collection business. Accompanying him was his endearing younger associate, Jong-bae. Their target for debt collection today was a woman named Kang Myung-ja. Doo-seok, with his sharp gaze, quickly spotted her figure amidst the bustling crowd. Without hesitation, he rushed forward, blocked Kang Myung-ja's path, and directly demanded that she pay back the money immediately.
근데 왜 도망가? 뭐 우리 똥개 훈련시켜!
With her young daughter, Seung-yi, by her side, Jeong Ming-zi looked troubled as Tough Stone pressed her for debt repayment. She explained helplessly that the child's father had passed away, and she was truly unable to repay the debt. Upon hearing this, Jong-bae's heart softened for a moment, yet he remained unmoved. His experience in debt collection had exposed him to countless types of defaulters, making Jeong Ming-zi's words difficult to move him.
2달치나 밀렸어!
이번 달 한 번만 넘어가 주시면 다음 달에 석 달치.
석 달치 같은 소리하고 자빠졌네. 그건 덱사정이고.
Just then, Seung-yi suddenly rushed forward and, with all her might, pinched Tough Stone hard, attempting to protect her mother. This sudden action only strengthened Tough Stone's resolve. He would definitely take something as collateral today.
아, 배째라. 그거네? 그래, 뭐 여기 해,
Realizing that money was not forthcoming, and the woman was prepared for a desperate stand. So Tough Stone abruptly snatched Seung-yi, warning Jeong Ming-zi to bring the money to redeem her by 4 p.m. the next day. During this time, he promised to take good care of Seung-yi. Although Tough Stone appeared menacing throughout the journey, he revealed a hint of awkward concern for little Seung-yi, whose face was streaked with tears. He even handed Seung-yi a small doll from the car, attempting to comfort the child who had been suddenly separated from her mother.
야, 그리고 이 아저씨들이 널 뭘 어떻게 하겠다는 게 아니야. 너네 엄마가 돈만 가져오면 그냥 금방 다시 너네 엄마한테 돌려보낸다니까. 그러니까 좀 그만 징징대 임마.
However, Seung-yi's inner sorrow was not something a mere doll could alleviate. Her tears flowed incessantly, and as Tough Stone watched, an inexplicable pang of sympathy arose within him. Upon returning home, Jong-bae was filled with worry. He believed Tough Stone's act of taking someone's child was improper. If Jeong Ming-zi reported them to the police, they would be in serious trouble. But Tough Stone calmly retorted.
신고도 못해 자식아. 제 엄마 불법 체류자야.
Meanwhile, Jeong Ming-zi was consumed with anxiety, rushing everywhere to gather money to redeem her daughter. She first went to her husband's former workplace, hoping to reclaim his past wages, but was met with a ruthless dismissal, as the money had already been taken by her husband. With no other option, Jeong Ming-zi went to a phone booth and borrowed 750,000 Korean won from her only relative, Seung-yi's uncle. Relieved after securing the money, she quickly sent a message to Tough Stone, promising to repay him by 9 a.m. the next day. Yet fate seemed to delight in mischief. The owner of Jeong Ming-zi's husband's workplace, seeing her desperately borrowing money again, shamelessly made a discreet call to the police. Tough Stone waited expectantly for Jeong Ming-zi to repay him, but as time ticked by, from 9 a.m. to past noon, Jeong Ming-zi's figure never reappeared. Upon learning the situation, the company president became furious, stating that Tough Stone was meant to collect money, not kidnap a child, and ordered Tough Stone and Jong-bae to immediately take Seung-yi back. However, fearing that these two bad men might harm her mother, Seung-yi was unwilling to reveal her home address at this point. Not only that, but she also unbuckled her seatbelt and escaped during a traffic jam. Tough Stone and Jong-bae frantically searched the vicinity, but Seung-yi's trace was nowhere to be found.
몸이 안 좋으면 죽어라.
선생님, 이번에는 그냥 포기하면 안 돼요? 불쌍한 사람 적선했다 치시고.
확 그냥. 그럼 우리가 그 돈을 또 떠안어?
The next day, the police called Tough Stone, and upon arriving at the station, he learned that Jeong Ming-zi was about to be repatriated to China. Before leaving, Jiang Mingzi strongly requested to see Tough Stone. She desperately pleaded with Tough Stone to look after Seung-yi for a few more days, as she had already informed her uncle, who would repay the money and take Seung-yi once he arrived.
이 사람이 애 안 데려가면 난 돈 뜯기고 애까지 떠맡게 되는 거 아니야.
어미는 자식 가지고 장난 안 했습니다.
자식 버리고 뒤는 년들 천지사방에 깔렸어.
나는 그런 년 아닙니다.
Meanwhile, seeing Jiang Mingzi's resolute gaze, he accepted her request despite his many reservations. Subsequently, Doo-seok, guided by information provided by the police, arrived at Jiang Mingzi's home. The house was desolate and empty, with no one inside. As he was about to leave, Doo-seok unexpectedly discovered Seung-yi's shoes. This confirmed to him that Seung-yi must have returned at some point. It was only when he saw Seung-yi's handwriting on the whiteboard that he realized the child must have gone out to look for her mother. For a small child, alone in a city where she knew no one, finding her mother would be an immense challenge. Seung-yi walked alone on the road, her backpack slung over her shoulders. The dim streetlights cast her shadow long before her. The surroundings were eerily silent. Only the occasional distant bark of a dog broke the quiet. Upon seeing Seung-yi alone, several vagrants revealed sinister intentions in their eyes. One of them immediately approached her with a predatory look, attempting to engage her in conversation.
집 나왔네. 삼촌이랑 같이 갈래? 가면 친구들 많이 있는데.
Once he confirmed she was alone, the vagrant became even more audacious. He forcibly picked up Seung-yi, attempting to abduct her. Seung-yi struggled desperately, but how could the strength of a small girl contend with that of a grown man? At this critical moment, a large foot suddenly kicked the vagrant.
어디 함부로 자식 남의 담보에 손을 대?
Doo-seok appeared as if a divine warrior had descended. In that instant, his presence instilled in Seung-yi an inexplicable sense of security. After Doo-seok drove the vagrant away, Seung-yi, despite her fear, managed to voice her request.
왜?
연락이 안 와요. 우리 엄마 찾으세요.
너네 엄마한테 연락 왔어.
우리 엄마?
너네 엄마 한국에 없어. 돈 벌러 다시 중국에 갔어. 이제 너 싫어. 다시는 안 온대.
거짓말. 나도 안 먹어.
너네 큰아빠가 데리러 온대요. 그리고 부잣집으로 너 이모랜데 알아? 너 공부 잘하고 열심히 교육했으면 그때 너네 엄마가 너 보러 온대. 안 그러면 안 온대?
Doo-seok relayed her mother's words to Seung-yi exactly as they were spoken. Upon hearing them, Seung-yi immediately burst into heartbroken sobs. Even Doo-seok, a man with a heart as firm as stone, felt his own heart shattered by her cries at that moment. On the way back with Seung-yi, Doo-seok, for the first time, altered his manner of speaking. He recounted her mother's instructions in a gentle tone. Seeing Seung-yi's tear-filled eyes, he couldn't help but feel sympathy for this vulnerable child. Although sadness lingered in Seung-yi's eyes as she listened, the thought of seeing her mother again rekindled a hope of returning home within her. Thus, 10-year-old Seung-yi became a collateral in a foreign land. Perhaps driven by the desire to return to her mother's side safely, Seung-yi displayed a maturity beyond that of most children her age. She would proactively take on all household chores. Every corner of the house was clean spotless by her. Each time he returned home to find it so meticulously cleaned by Seung-yi, he was particularly surprised by the child's efforts. Though still outwardly carefree, he would unconsciously check for any injuries on Seung-yi's small hands. In truth, Doo-seok naturally understood Seung-yi's deepest desire, to return to her mother's side as quickly as possible. As they were enjoying themselves, Doo-seok suddenly received a phone call. The call was from Seung-yi's uncle. He promised to pay half of the outstanding debt first, and after paying the remainder a week later, he would take Seung-yi away. During this period, he requested Doo-seok's help in taking Seung-yi to buy some clothes for her. Hearing that there was finally hope of recovering the debt, Doo-seok and Seung-yi simultaneously broke into smiles. On their way to the mall, Doo-seok learned the girl's name for the first time. She told the two men that her name was Lee Seung-yi, and she had just turned 10 years old. When she learned the man's name was Doo-seok, Seung-yi laughed heartily. She thought his name was too ugly, and insisted on giving him a new one.
뭐
어때요?
승모? 박승모?
네, 승부는 끝났다. 내가 보스다. 그래서 승부.
Too-sure and Jong-bae took her to buy beautiful clothes and enjoy many delicious foods, then asked what else she wished to do before leaving Seoul. Seung-yi told him she wanted to see Seo Taeji's concert. However, upon learning of the expensive ticket price, Too-sure deliberately changed the subject. Nevertheless, seeing Seung-yi's disappointed expression, the two men still secretly snuck her into the concert venue through the back door. Watching her favorite idol, Seung-yi seemed to forget all her worries. After the concert, Seung-yi wanted a CD and a poster of the idol. But the steep price still left Too-sure conflicted as he rummaged through his wallet.
참 답답해요. 딸이랑 같이 이렇게 줄도 서고 자상하시네요.
Hearing the staff member's words, the usually stingy Too-sure seemed to throw caution to the wind, immediately and generously pulling out his hidden stash of money from his socks. On the way home, looking at the much-desired gift, Seung-yi's heart was overflowing with joy. She threw her arms around Too-sure, hugging him tightly and thanking him incessantly. Although she had been taken by this man, their interactions over this period had already fostered different feelings within her.
시다 하나 찾았다고 하면 남의 남자 이렇게 막 덥석덥석 끼얹는 거 아니야? 이성 남자들은 다 개새끼들. 다 개약해.
아저씨도요?
당연하지.
새끼. 나만 빼고는 다 개야. 이 아저씨는 특히 개 중에서도 아주 미친 개지 아주.
반사.
반사래.
On the eve of their departure, the two men thoughtfully prepare a farewell cake for young Seung-yi. Yet, none of them could bring themselves to be truly happy. They all knew in their hearts that after this parting, they might never have the chance to meet again in this lifetime. The next day, Too-sure escorted Seung-yi to the bus station. At the station, he repeatedly reminded Seung-yi never to speak to strangers. Should she encounter any difficulties, she must call him immediately. More importantly, she was told not to casually embrace other men in the future. At this moment, Too-sure, like a true father, was fussing over the daughter who was about to embark on a distant journey. While Seung-yi was in the restroom, the usually frugal Too-sure spent a considerable sum to buy her a CD player, hoping she would remember the uncle she had briefly encountered whenever she listened to music.
아, CD만 있어래. 저기, 음악을 들어야지.
아저씨.
야, 길에서 보면 모르겠다, 야.
Just then, an old man with white hair approached. Upon seeing the man, Seung-yi, frightened, hid behind Too-sure. This old man was Seung-yi's granduncle, who had come to pick her up. However, this old man surprisingly did not even know Seung-yi's name. Uneasy, Too-sure demanded that he write a receipt. Although he deeply disliked the man, Too-sure still had no choice but to entrust Seung-yi back to her family.
깜빡했는데, 이 사진, 엄마가 꼭 다시 더 만나러 올 거야. 그러니까 끝까지 잘 간직해야 돼. 알았어? 그리고 아저씨가 삐삐치면 3초 알지? 비밀번호 알아?
623. 아저씨 생일.
가자.
Watching Seung-yi being led onto the bus, Too-sure, who should have felt relieved, now appeared remarkably dejected. Tears welled in his eyes, and an unspeakable sorrow filled his heart. From that day forward, Too-sure was like someone who had lost something immensely important. He was dejected every day and had no enthusiasm for work.
담보가 마음에 걸려서 그러세요?
아, 엄마 그런 거 아니야.
그냥 뼈 한번 쳐보세요.
아, 내한테 삐삐를 왜 치냐고. 왜?
Though Too-sure spoke harshly, he still found trivial excuses to contact Seung-yi. However, no matter how many messages he left, he received no response from Seung-yi. Too-sure still believed she was simply adjusting to her new environment. But as the days passed and more unsettling rumors came to light, Too-sure grew increasingly uneasy. He attempted to call Seung-yi's granduncle, but the number he was given turned out to be fake. At that moment, Doo-seok could no longer concentrate on his work. Through indirect inquiries facilitated by his company connections, he finally located the white-haired old man's address. It wasn't until Doo-seok found him that he discovered this man had not raised Seung-yi properly at all. Instead, he had sold her on the very same day.
얼마 챙겼어? 30.
Doo-seok's emotions could no longer be described merely as anger. He unleashed all his fury upon the old man. Despite being beaten severely, he still could not ascertain Seung-yi's whereabouts. At this point, Doo-seok was consumed by a profound anguish, Seung-yi's face haunting his every thought. How was she faring now? Where was she now? But Doo-seok could never have imagined that, at this very moment, Seung-yi had been sold into the hands of a woman. Every day, she was forced to ceaselessly clean the hair salon, constantly soiled. The chaotic and unsanitary environment also caused Seung-yi to suffer frequent injuries. Yet, the wicked woman would not take her to a hospital. Moreover, the clothes she wore were merely the cast-offs of the dancers. And her daily diet consisted of a bowl of instant noodles, devoid of nutrition. She had secretly attempted to contact Doo-seok multiple times, but had forgotten the pager number he had urged her to remember. Fortunately, the clever Seung-yi did not give up. After numerous attempts, she finally managed to reach Doo-seok one day not long after.
담보냐?
아저씨.
담보야. 너 우는 거야?
아저씨.
너 무슨 일 있어? 너 지금 살고 있는 집 주소 알아?
부산시 놈중 300리 차차차 룸사롱.
뭐? 차차차 룸사. 개새끼들. 알았어. 너 꼼짝 말고 거기 있어. 아저씨 지금 갈 테니까. 알았어?
진짜?
아 그래 지금 진짜로 간다고. 그러니까 너 절대로 어디 가면 안 돼. 알았어? 그래.
Seung-yi's sobbing broke the heart of the stoic Doo-seok. Only then did he discover that Seung-yi had been sold into a nightclub. In that moment, he felt not only self-reproach but also an intense hatred for those scoundrels. Without a moment's hesitation, he rushed to Busan that very night. Following the address Seung-yi provided, he quickly located the nightclub. At that moment, Seung-yi was cowering and trembling in a corner. She had been tortured relentlessly, her body covered in wounds. Upon hearing Doo-seok's call, Seung-yi could no longer suppress her emotions.
아저씨! 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 아저씨!
승희야.
아저씨!
The moment they met, Doo-seok's heart ached as if pierced by needles. He had long considered Seung-yi his own daughter. Seeing her so cruelly ravaged, he did not hesitate, smashing the glass with a single punch. In that moment, Seung-yi was no longer merely his collateral, but an indispensable part of his heart.
아저씨!
됐어, 울지 마. 집에 가자.
He gently carried Seung-yi back to the car. As he looked at the scars on her face, Doo-seok's rage was palpable. Turning to face the women who were pursuing them, he could no longer tolerate the harm these scoundrels had inflicted upon Seung-yi.
고대 사람을 납치하려고
아이씨. 애가 다쳤으면 먼저 병원에 데려가든지 연고라도 발라줘야지. 여자의 얼굴이 저게 뭐야?
On the way home, Seung-yi looked at the wounds on Doo-seok's hand with sorrow, tearfully wiping away the bloodstains. In that moment, they were the most important people in each other's hearts. Soothed by Doo-seok, Seung-yi soon fell asleep. It had been a long time since she had slept soundly. Lying in Doo-seok's arms now, she found her safest and warmest sanctuary. After this ordeal, Doo-seok secretly resolved to raise Seung-yi himself, vowing never again to let her suffer. This decision, however, made life even more difficult for the already struggling Doo-seok and Jong-bae. He sold his car. to prevent scars from remaining on Seung-yi's face, he took her to the best plastic surgery hospital. And he found her the best school. However, since she did not hold Korean nationality, she could not yet attend school there. Unless Doo-seok was willing to adopt Seung-yi as his daughter. But upon hearing this, Seung-yi turned and walked away. She was unwilling to be Doo-seok's daughter. For she believed that her mother would certainly come to take her back.
나밖에 안 가요.
야, 담보! 그래도 학교는 다녀야지!
Seeing the strong-willed Seung-yi, Doo-seok could only ask Jong-bae to persuade her. Jong-bae assured her that this was merely a pretense for her schooling, to act as his daughter, and that if her mother ever returned to take her back, he would personally explain everything to her mother.
엄마가 싫어할 텐데.
아저씨 하나도 안 싫어하게 잘 얘기해주지.
진짜예요?
그럼 진짜지.
자, 약속. 아저씨가 엄마 안 싫어하게 꼭 얘기해주고.
Seung-yi finally enrolled in school under the guise of being his daughter, and Doo-seok, like a true father, cared for Seung-yi with meticulous attention. Every day, he would pamper his daughter with a variety of dishes. Her classmates, too, all envied her for having such a kind father. And the clever Seung-yi lived up to her pretend father's expectations, consistently achieving the top rank in every examination. Under the loving care of her pretend father, Seung-yi was soon to graduate from high school. Watching his daughter prepare to enter the examination hall, this pretend father was even more anxious than she was. Like other parents, he stood outside the examination venue, praying ceaselessly. He prayed for Seung-yi's healthy growth, for her to be free from want, and for her to find her mother. His daughter, living up to Doo-seok's hopes, successfully gained admission to a prestigious university with excellent grades. As adolescence brought its changes, Seung-yi gradually began to experience romantic relationships. Seeing the young man who had come to steal his cabbage, a metaphor for dating his daughter, Doo-seok immediately wanted to give him a beating. Although she was not his biological daughter, he had long regarded this child as his own flesh and blood. Like all fathers, he found it difficult to watch his grown-up daughter drift away from him. How he wished his daughter would never grow up. Yet, all good things must come to an end. An international phone call completely shattered Doo-seok's dream of having a daughter.
박두석 씨 맞습니까?
예, 맞는데. 누구세요?
강명자 애미 됩니다.
예? 누구시라고요?
강명자라고. 승희 애미 말이요. 염치 없지만 다른 게 아니고.
The caller was Seung-yi's maternal grandmother, who informed Doo-seok that Seung-yi's mother had a terminal illness and wished to see her child one last time before she passed away. Though Doo-seok felt immense reluctance in his heart, he still chose to take her back. She met her maternal grandmother for the first time, and also saw her mother, who was gravely ill. Although her memories were vague, the bond of blood still made her feel a deep sense of familiarity. Seeing her mother so ravaged by illness, Seung-yi felt both heartache and profound sadness. Observing the scene before him, Doo-seok quietly closed the door. At that moment, no one knew what he was thinking. But everyone knew he did not want to lose his daughter. That night, Seung-yi's mother knelt on the ground, ceaselessly thanking Doo-seok for raising her daughter. In fact, she had gone to Seoul to look for them a long time ago. Despite her severe illness, she chose not to disturb them, seeing the profound happiness shared between father and daughter. A mother would rather bear all the pain herself than impose any burden on her daughter's happy life. However, before her passing, she had one final wish. Her wish was for Doo-seok to take Seung-yi to visit her father, who had been missing for many years.
승희 아버님은 죽었다고.
죽었습니다.
For Doo-seok, this news presented an undoubtedly agonizing choice. Should he conceal the truth from Seung-yi, or should he take her to meet her biological father? Despite his inner turmoil, Doo-seok agreed to fulfill a mother's last request. At the time of departure, the mother did not come out to bid her daughter farewell. Seeing her daughter grow up healthy was enough to bring her complete contentment. Being with Doo-seok was more suitable for her than staying by her own side. They had no expectations for themselves in this life, their sole hope was for their child to be healthy and happy. After numerous inquiries, Doo-seok finally ascertained the whereabouts of Seung-yi's biological father. This man had long since established a new family with someone else. Though he was reluctant to part with his daughter, he still took her to meet her biological father. Watching his daughter's departing figure, his heart felt as if it had shattered. Yet, he could not selfishly prevent her from reuniting with her biological father.
그래서 형님은 바보! 세상에서 형님은 제일 바보야! 이제 승희하고 다 끝났다고요. 잊어. 잘 가라, 승희야. 빨리 짜있지.
먼저 간다.
That night, listening to Jong-bae's incessant chatter, Doo-seok felt an immense weight pressing upon his chest. Walking home alone, he no longer harbored any expectation of returning. The empty room held nothing but childhood photographs of Seung-yi. His heart felt hollowed out, aging him decades in an instant. With his daughter's departure, his role as her surrogate father also came to an end.
여보세요.
아빠. 아빠, 안 들려?
승희야.
아니, 그냥 혼자 두고 가버리면 어떡해. 아빠가 데려다 줬음, 데리러도 와야지.
그래, 너, 어디야? 아까 거기야? 너 어디 꼼짝하지 말고 거기 있어.
아빠! 빨리 와.
그래, 금방 갈게.
What could truly make one genuinely happy in this world? Perhaps it was the joy of something lost now found again. He still rode his motorcycle towards his sole concern, just as he always did when picking up his daughter from school. However, this time, Seung-yi waited for a very long time in the park, but her father never came to pick her up and take her home. After more than a decade of relentless searching, Seung-yi still found no trace of her father. Even Jong-bae urged her to abandon her search. He loved his daughter so dearly, it was impossible for him not to appear for so long. Perhaps he was no longer in this world.
승희야, 이제 그만 있자. 10년 넘게 찾았는데 못 찾은 거나 무슨 일이 있을 수도 있는 거고, 너도 할 만큼 했어. 형님도 네 마음 다 아실 거야. 그냥 너 열심히 살고 이제 있자.
Despite this harsh reality, Seung-yi refused to relinquish even that sliver of hope. She continued her tireless search every day, until one day she spotted an advertisement. Wasn't that the name she had given her father when she was a child? In an instant, it seemed as though she had thought of something. She immediately returned to the police station and requested another search using Park Sung-bo's name. This time, they finally found him.
박승보 씨라고 용인에 형제희망원에 계시네요. 확실치는 않지만 박승보 씨라고 맞습니다. 나이대도 비슷하고.
With the help of the police, they quickly located a nursing home based on the address. The director informed them that over 10 years ago, Seung-bo had been involved in an accidental car crash, and tragically, he had lost all his memories. When he was brought there, the man could only recall 2 words, Seung-bo and guarantee. As they looked at the familiar handwriting in the notebook, their eyes were already brimming with tears. Led by the staff, they finally saw the man they had longed for day and night, in a locked small room. Big brother, I'm here.
종배예요, 종배. 나왔어요. 승희 좋아요.
By then, Doo-seok had aged considerably, his face, scarred and ravaged by time, had left him disfigured.
나야, 승희. 알아보겠어?
나 담보. 아저씨 딸 승희. 알아보겠어. 아저씨가 나쁘더라. 뭐라 그랬어? 담보라고 한 거 맞지?
들었어.
Although he had forgotten everything, he still remembered every little detail about his daughter. The Walkman he prepared for his daughter, the blessings he prepared for his daughter, and the dowry he prepared for his daughter. This man had dedicated most of his life to little Danbo, always giving his all for her, both emotionally and materially. His kindness and sense of responsibility gave little Danbo a happy life, but he never found a happy ending for himself. Despite having no memories, his eyes were still red with tears, for his body still remembered the most precious treasure of his life, his little Danbo. Although they shared no blood relation, he fulfilled the responsibilities of a father. When Seung-yi uttered the word dad that night, Doo-seok felt his entire life had been worthwhile.
아빠.
I'm sorry.
아빠 미안해.
What has always moved me most in films is never the overtly sentimental scenes, but rather the profound insights they offer into human nature. It tells us that love is never exclusive to blood relations. It is the unexpected acts of kindness encountered in ordinary times, and the unwavering companionship that truly serve as life's most precious guarantee. The character of Seung-yi is not a hero in the traditional sense. He is often crude, and at times even a little petty. Yet, it is precisely these imperfections that make his kindness appear all the more genuine. He does not give out of a desire for greatness, but simply because of the tenderness in his heart, which prevents him from ignoring a child in distress. Good films always use a simple story to illustrate the true meaning of love for us. With love as our guarantee, we can withstand the passage of time, overcome unfamiliar distances, and live out our most touching selves in ordinary days. At the core of the human heart, what matters most is genuine kindness and warmth. This is precisely the most precious gift this film has left us.